Morning Live. Now, Sweet-Orr have just launched an exciting collaboration with 10 South African industry leaders to showcase their talent and celebrate their inspiring stories. This is through the Love What You Do campaign that will see each of the selected individuals tell their unique stories through a video series aimed at giving us a glimpse into their world. Well, for more on this, we're joined on Zoom by Executive Director of Sweet-Orr, Denver, Berman-Jacob, contemporary artist Lyndi and photographer Dave Southwood. Gentlemen and lady, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live. I'm going to start with Denver. Tell us more about what the Love What You Do campaign is all about and what's the inspiration behind it, Denver.
Firstly, thank you for having me on your show. We really appreciate the opportunity. So Love What You Do was born out of the concept where we saw that the nature of work is changing. People are working remotely. People are working through hybrid models. So as the nature of work changed and there's a redefinition of work, we as a brand had to redefine how we connect to our audiences. And so we had to redefine work. We traditionally supply some of the major industries in South Africa, like petrochemical, construction, mines are big customers. So for us to traverse into more of the consumer space was a big strategic move for us. But instead of putting ourselves front and center as a brand, we felt it important to do what we actually do as a brand, which is enable people to do what they love. And that's where the campaign came from. Love what you do, because I think if you can be passionate about what you do, then there's a lot of success at the end of that rainbow.
Lyndi, what is your understanding of the Love What You Do campaign and what it aims to achieve?
Well, I mean, when they asked me to be part of the 10 artists, I thought, yeah, I loved the fact that they were interested in artists that are passionate about what they do, because they are so passionate about the workwear that they make for the laborers. So, as an artist who's always been passionate about what I do, it was really sort of a privilege to be part of the 10 artists that were selected.
Dave, let's bring you into this conversation. I mean, why did you become part of this campaign?
When Denver was launching some of the more contemporary workwear, I was asked to photograph the campaign. So I met Denver and became aware of Sweet-Orr through working for them. And in the latest phase, I sort of segued into being in front of the camera.
Yeah. And what did that feel like as a photographer, as the man behind the lens all the time?
I also do video, and the main thrust of this campaign so far, from my point of view, has been a video. And it's actually easier to condense my story for other videographers because I'd had to do that in my own capacity as a videographer. So, yeah, that was easy. I think had I not been a photographer and a videographer, it would have been a little bit more harrowing to be in front of the lens. Yeah.
Denver, let's bring you back into the conversation. Now, speak to us about the other creatives that are taking part in this video series campaign. Tell us a little bit more about the other creatives.
It was a really exciting journey for us as a brand to get in touch with artists from various industries. So the artists that we do have represented, it's such a vast range. But the question was, is there space in their lives or in what they do for what we do? And finding that comparison was quite an interesting challenge and very exciting. So we're working with the likes of Buddy Chillin, who is an internationally renowned BMXer. We're working with Lyndi and David Southwood, we have with you today. We're working with the likes of Gino Langer, who is a car fabricator and probably one of the best in South Africa. Joe Neeser, who is a former commercial attorney, who's now an olive farmer. Great story. Thandi Dowry, she's a Sweshwear jewelry designer. We're working with Leighton Rathbone, which is probably one of the top mixologists in the world, Hiram Koopman, who is probably one of the best musicians in South Africa, and then Otto du Plessis, who's a sculptor. So it's a mixed audience. people who are very good at what they do, and people that wanted to work with us. And what an exciting opportunity to showcase the talent that we have in South Africa. Let me just say that these are 10 talents that we managed to pull into a room and work with. But there's so much more in this country. And for us as a brand to highlight what this country has to offer in terms of skills, in terms of art, in terms of contribution to society. I don't know if I mentioned Bongani Mnisi, who's a conservationist, and his goal is to open the doors of places that traditionally in the past was closed off to certain segments of the community, open it up and teach people about conservation and ecosystems. Great opportunities, and we're excited beyond this campaign to continue to do this, to highlight more talent and more skills in the South African market.
Lyndi, I mean, what does this collaboration mean for you personally as an artist? And take us through what were the highlights of being part of this campaign?
Yeah, well, it was amazing because they came to my studio and they really wanted to just film a day in the life of Lyndi. And what they alerted me to is aspects of my day which seemed pretty mundane to me, but was what they wanted to capture in their snippets in the video. So, yeah, you'll see in the video just sort of moments of me in my studio where I'm really sort of contemplating, and it sort of highlights the studio space as a kind of sanctuary, as a very important aspect of an artist's life that people don't really get a window into. So I think that was what was so beautiful about this campaign. It actually goes into each of the artists or the 10 people that have been represented into their lives, and just it looks at their story, which is something that you don't always realize of, what an artist's life involves. You see the finished artwork in the gallery, in the white cube, but it's not actually, there's so much more to what happens, as part of being an artist. So I thought, that was really just a beautiful way that they were able to capture. And I've seen the other videos as well, and each one is very, very special in its own right.
Yeah. And for you, Dave, we've also got your video here. I mean, talk to us about what was so special about being part of this campaign and what stood out for you.
I mean, so I used to live in Germany back in the day, and I was always interested in German shops which sold something called Berufskleidung, which means sort of professional clothing. So in Germany, I went to these shops and I bought the very well-designed clothing which different professions used. So it's been exciting for me to meet Denver, I would say a decade ago, and to see how the evolution of Sweet-Orr's ideas have turned making these very practical bits of clothing into reality. You can see me in the video there. I actually use the clothes which Sweet-Orr are producing in my work, because when I go out into the field, I need lots of pockets to place all my accessories. So in addition to enjoying hanging out with Denver and the team and having to sort of think really hard about what I was doing in order to summarize it in the video, it's just been nice to see how a concept goes from its inception to something that you can wear. And it's, in addition to being well made, it's very useful. And I'm sure I'm going to ask Denver for more jackets when my current one wears out.
Yeah, I'm sure Denver can organize. Denver, give us more details about the campaign and what can we expect from this exciting collaboration going forward?
As I said earlier, firstly, thank you to you, and we're very excited about the opportunity. And we need to get back to what the main goal of this campaign is. It's really to get people to firstly be inspired by the lives of 10 amazing people. And for us as a brand to just enable people to get into a position to love what they do. But in saying that, also for the individual then to ask themselves some serious questions as to, do I love what I do? And what do I need to do to love what I do? And so that's what it is. It's an inspirational campaign. It's going to live out of the course of the year, where we'll release the videos on a monthly basis. And I'm happy that Lyndi is on the show this morning, because she's the artist of the month for March. So she will feature her work over that period. Dave will come later in the year. But it's going to be a very exciting rollout that we'll see in different mediums, online and then through mainstream media as well.
All right, gentlemen and lady, thank you so much for talking to us. That conversation I was talking to Denver Berman-Jacob, Lyndi Sales and Dave Southwood, and we're discussing their Love What You Do campaign that celebrates 10 talented South Africans with a new video series. All right, we speak about fashion awards after this. Stay with us.